Are you confident in your offers but wishing more people actually saw them? If you're ready to get your voice in front of dream clients without chasing every algorithm, the Visibility Kickstart Fall Flash Mini is for you. In just a couple of days, you'll walk away with custom podcast speaking topics, a simple system to track your pitches, and direct voice messaging support from me, so you can start landing guest spots and planting visibility seeds before the year ends. No long program, no fluff, just action, clarity, and major visibility. You'll be ready to pitch this week. Spots are limited, and this is only good for October. Head to the link in the show notes, and let's get your message into more ears starting now. Okay, welcome back. So today is another one of my most common questions. Tell me how to find the podcast, the search, because when you go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, those big places, and you search, you usually end up seeing those big production company type podcasts. And that's really not who we're looking for yet in this podcasting tour that we're trying to embark on, right? So what do we do about that? But first, let's talk, why is finding the right show important? Why is that podcast is not just about the quantity, how many we can get on, it's about the quality. And why does that matter? This is a vital part in the process, and this makes sure that there's alignment on both sides for you and the host so that we are not wasting any time. This makes sure that you want to share the episode when it's released, because when we don't get on the right shows and we don't check for that, which is part of my process, that's when we end up not wanting to share the show when it airs, or feeling like we don't actually jive with the host or what they're about. And that's when we can burn bridges that we didn't need to, right? This goes back to those niche topics in step 1. So you can head back to episode 182 about that and work on what topics you're going to speak about. These niche topics are important. Every time I work with a client, they're the first step that we follow. So how do you know it's the right one? This goes right along with those niche speaking topics. Do your speaking topics and what you're about and what you value, does that match up with that show's values, message, mission in some way? It doesn't have to match 10 out of 10, but you should jive with the host. You should, when you're listening to the show, think, yeah, I like this, or you agree, or you're nodding along. It shouldn't be like you're listening and you're scrunching your face thinking like, that's dumb, or I don't agree with that. I'm not saying you need to agree with every single word that the host is saying in their show, but if you are differing a lot in your values and your mission and theirs, it's not going to be a fit. It's not going to feel good. And when we're doing this to be building our business and referrals and hoping to grow your network and visibility, this is really important. And again, it goes back to those niche speaking topics so that you know what you're going to be talking about. It makes it a lot easier to find that show. So there's 2 ways to find the shows. You can go find them, or you can let them come to you. So let's talk about that second one here first. Taking those niche speaking topics, those 3 topics that you know inside and out, they relate to your offers, all of those pieces that we cover in step 1 of my 5-step process. You take those speaking topics and you share them on Threads. You can do this once a week, and you don't have to overthink this. Threads is very casual, very laid back. You can just say, hey, I know I could bring so much value to a podcast with these 3 topics. Do you or someone you know have a show that you can tag in the comments here? And you just post it out there and tweak them as you go and share that. So that's letting them come to you. You can share this with your email list, on social media, wherever. You're just getting this out there and let people know that you do want to guest speak on podcasts. Because I always tell my clients, if you don't tell anyone you want to guest on a podcast, you're not going to guest on a podcast, because nobody's a mind reader, and likely no one's just going to offer to have you on if they don't even know you're interested in it. So letting that be known and putting that out there, that's one approach. That might be slow. Who knows? It's kind of more like up in the air if the right people are going to see it and say, yes, let's have you on the show. Or you can take more control over it and you can go searching for the shows. Now, go with me here. This is a little bit of the time-consuming part, but as you get going, you can really create a lot of momentum. And this is another part that you can hire me to do for you, where I find the aligned shows. And likely I already can think of a ton of them if you let me know what you and your business and your values are about, because of the network I've created over the last 4 years of producing 200 plus shows, guesting on over 50 shows just in 2025 alone. So tapping into that, you can utilize that. But here's how I do it, because I'm not about gatekeeping. And I know that people don't do or work the same exact way. And so you can absolutely take this information and run with it. So here's what you do. You can start here on my show, because here you are. If you're driving with me, guess what? There's guest episodes, and they are people that also have podcasts. So you start with a show that's independently run like mine, where it's a smaller type show. It's not a huge production, right? And you can scroll through, you'll find guest episodes. Go to the ones who are also podcast hosts. A lot of mine are, especially my most recent ones. Most of them were all podcasts that I really jived with when I was on their show, and then I invited them over to be on my show. So you can hop over to their show, do the same thing. And while you do this, make sure you download my free tracker that's in the show notes, because you're going to start this breadcrumb trail that you're sort of following. You're going to want to be linking in my tracker the podcast, a link to the show, put the name in, put the host name in, and their social media you can link in there, because it's a Google spreadsheet, so you can put links right in it. But you're going to want to do that so that you have that all in one place. While you're bebopping around gathering all that, if you're listening to the show and you think of stuff or notes of how it relates to you, there's a column to type in some notes. So that's all something you want to keep track of. Keep that all straight in your head, and the tracker is going to help you do that as well. You can also ask a host if you've already been on a show or two, or you know a host. You can ask them if they know any other hosts that might be a good fit for you that you could reach out to. So instead of just going to search and going down whatever rabbit holes you find, you can actually talk to someone that you've actually met or know, and that might be a good starting point as well. This is the fun part. This is the part where you get to take all your prep work from the other podcast episodes we've talked about, if you've gone through that, or if you've been in my program, or if you've done my free guesting masterclass. This is where we take all those niche speaking topics that we've prepped, and we're ready for it, and we know what we're going to pitch. And this is where we go find the shows that you'll actually be sharing your expertise with. So this is the exciting part. If it doesn't sound fun for you, but you're ready to start your podcast tour, you know I'm always ready to get you booked. So you can tap into my 4 years worth of podcasting connections. All the links are in the show notes. That anything I've mentioned, talked about today, you can head to the show notes. But hopefully that gives you a quick snapshot of how you can begin to go find those podcasts that are going to be a fit for you. Remember, we're looking for aligned shows. We're looking for quality, not just quantity. Get on as many shows as we can. And if you're worried about, oh my gosh, I found the show now, how do I pitch to them? You go back, check out last week or 2 weeks ago's episode. That's all laid out right there. Okay, peace out. All right, that's it for today. If this episode gave you a little aha, or you're thinking about guesting on podcasts now, I'd love to hear about it. Screenshot the episode, tag me on Instagram @CandiceDudley, and let me know your biggest takeaways. And don't forget to come back next Tuesday for another episode.